Good morning, guys. It's Grace. As you can see, BC is not napping for once. He's staring at me for some reason. He loves kisses. Anyways, today's video is going to be 10 tips for community college students that I think would have helped me if I knew maybe ahead of time. I did use a couple articles to help give me ideas, so I'll link to those in the description. But most of these I did think of on my own. But the articles pretty much are telling you what I said. Most people will give you the same tips about going to college. BC's licking my hand now. Come here. Anyways, so I hope you guys love BC as much as I do. Anyway, so let's get started. The first one I have is to get there early, which if you're already a community college student, you know. But it's helpful for people who have never, are, incoming students. I'd also like to point out that I'm doing community college instead of university, because I don't go to a university, so it would be dumb for me to give advice on that when I don't have experience with that. I do have experience with community college though, which is why I'm doing it. Anyways, what I mean by get there early, meaning parking, especially the first week, because there will be people there trying to crash courses and stuff like that, and then once they're not allowed to do that anymore, obviously the number of people are going to die down a little bit. Parking's hard to find though, no matter what day it is. I was under the impression that after the first week you will have no trouble finding parking. That's not true. You have to get there early every day. If you have an 8 a.m. class, it's the most helpful, because you just have to get there. You don't have to get there as early if you have an 8 a.m. class, because that's when everybody's getting there. So there's a decent amount of parking. But if you have anything after 8, there's absolutely no parking, and you have to wait for the people to get out of their classes to leave. And you also have to find, there's also going to be so many other people trying to find parking at the same time as you. You're not going to be the only one going up and down the aisles trying to find a spot. So parking is a big issue. I haven't even been back at school for a week yet, and there's late people every single day, and their excuse is they couldn't find parking. And teachers might take that for the first week, but after that they're not going to care. They're going to expect you to get there early. The second tip is helpful for the first one, is you could carpool. I do that with my sister sometimes when our classes, when the times we need to be there happen to work out to be the same time, then I'll carpool with my sister, and that's very helpful. A lot less stressful too, because when we carpool she drives, and then I don't have to really worry about parking. I can just sit there and let her worry about it. So the third one is pretty cliche. Don't procrastinate. It makes life so much easier, and it doesn't even have to do with just your schoolwork. You could do it with your application, financial aid, if you do book help or any clubs, if you want to do a club, the applications for that. Do all of that early. Don't wait till the last minute, because it's just gonna hurt you. And then homework and stuff, obviously you shouldn't procrastinate with that either. It's so much easier just to get it done beforehand. Keep in mind also, if not you, somebody is paying for you to be there, and it's just a waste of your money or whoever is paying for you if you're not going to do the work. So And most people in your classes are going to have that mindset that I'm paying to be here, I'm going to do my work. So if you're the only one not doing it, it's going to reflect badly on how you look. You should just do your work and do it early so it's less stressful for you. It makes you look better too. Sorry about that. Daisy walked in because we have to go back to school in like a couple minutes. Anyways, the fourth tip is to check eBay for your textbooks, because if you buy them new, almost every book I bought brand new was over $100. So if you know for sure you're in the class, try and check eBay for the book, because you can get them so much cheaper. However, there are teachers that will say that not having the book is no excuse for not doing your work. Those classes, unless you know for sure what book you need, then I don't really know how to get out of that. Still working on that. I had to buy one book this year brand new because my teacher, I have homework due tomorrow, and he says we have no excuse for not doing it. So I have to buy the book. But all my other classes postpone the due date for the first couple weeks so that we can get the book. Specifically so we could get the book for cheaper. So depends on your teacher, but I highly recommend it. If you don't have to buy the book new, don't, because it's such a waste of money. And nobody's gonna buy it. If you try to resell it afterwards, nobody's gonna buy it for the price you paid for it. So no matter what, you're losing money. But if you buy it for cheap online, and then you can sell it for a little bit more and make a profit once the class is over. So, or maybe if you have friends that used to be in the class, you could borrow their book so you don't even have to buy it, and then just give it back to them when the class is over. My sister did that for one of her classes last semester, so I recommend that as well. The fifth tip is not to be intimidated, and this goes for not even just people my age. This goes for the older people as well, because I was a little intimidated by all the older people that were in my classes, because they have so much more life experience and knowledge and other things that I don't have yet. And I was afraid of being judged for not, like, I'm still supported by my mom. She's the one paying for me to go to college. I haven't really had any work experience yet. I don't pay for anything. I have no bills to pay. It's just, I don't have that kind of experience compared to them. And I know that it probably works the other way around also for the older people who it's been years since they've been in school. It might be intimidating being surrounded by younger people who just came from high school, so this isn't much different to them. For everybody, don't be intimidated. You're all there for the same reason. You're all there to learn and expand your knowledge and further your education, and don't be afraid of being judged. I haven't had that problem so far. College is a pretty safe environment from what I've experienced. So don't let the new environment scare you. The sixth one is talk to a counselor regularly. That's really helped me. They can help you make sure you're taking the classes you need to be taking, when you need to be taking them. You're not taking classes that you don't need to be taking, especially if you're transferring, because if you're not transferring, you might not have to take some of the classes that a transfer student does, even if you're going for the same major. Transfer students usually have to do a little bit more, but it's always different, even if you're going for the same major. So talk to a counselor regularly and let them help you. My college says you should do it at the beginning of every semester and at the end of every semester, so twice a semester. So far I've been doing that, and it's really, even if it doesn't help you, there's no harm in it. So I think you should do it no matter what. And there's a chance that they'll tell you something you don't know, and that will help you. It's very unlikely that you're not going to get help out of it. The seventh one is don't be afraid to email your instructors, because most of them want you to email them. If you have questions, most of them are more than happy to help you. I've only had one teacher that I didn't, that I had a little bit of a problem with. But every other teacher I've had, I've emailed them, no problem. They were more than happy to help me. They also have office hours that you should take advantage of as well. For one of my projects, I went to my teacher during his office hours and he helped me, and I ended up getting an A on it that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise, because he told me what was wrong with it and I went and I fixed it. So unless you don't really care, you just want to pass, you don't want to do good. Like if you're fine with a C, you don't care about getting an A as long as you pass, you know, by all means do what you want, but I recommend doing that. Like I said, talk to your counselors, email them, take advantage of their office hours. You know, if you want to do well in college, this stuff will really help you. But like I said, if you just want to pass, you don't really care about doing really well, then by all means do what you want. I'd also like to point out that Gator joined us, but BC's blocking him. Anyways, so the third one is to write down your plan. This would be helpful to do with a counselor, so write down your classes when you want to take them and kind of have as much as you can planned out, maybe till you graduate, so you know exactly each year up from now till you graduate, you know what you're planning on doing, what classes you're planning on taking. I really recommend it, and maybe you could go over it every semester, update it a little bit if you have to, but it's really helpful for me to do that, and I think that you guys should do that if you know what path you're taking. If you don't know what you really want to do yet, and you've changed your major a couple times and whatever, I understand not doing that, but once you know for sure pretty much what you want to do, I would recommend doing that, because it's a lot less stressful. Once registration comes around, you already know what classes you want to take, and you don't really have to worry about it. The ninth one is to check your school email, because I will admit, I delete almost every email I get, but they tell you a lot of information like about blood drives, which I can't do, I don't think, because I think I'm too small for that. I haven't checked, actually. Maybe it's different now. Last time when they did it at my high school, they told me I didn't weigh enough. So maybe it's different now, but if you want to participate in blood drives, they give you information about that. If you are a person who wants to do clubs or anything like that, they give you information about that. Book help, financial aid, they give you information about all of that. So if you are interested in that, check your email often. And even if you're not interested in it, I would recommend checking your email anyways. Like I said, there's no harm in it. And the last one is to be prepared. So, like, on the first day of school or week or school, have your classes written down. Like, on my phone, I have the class, what time, what day, the teacher, and the room number. And that way, when I'm, going to class, it's not going to be super hard for me to try and figure it out. I don't have to, wait for the Wi-Fi to help me pull it up on my phone. It's written down already. I did that at home beforehand, so I knew I would be prepared. If you don't know the campus that well, go early and find your classroom ahead of time, because some teachers will be lenient about the first couple days being late because if you don't know the classes or whatever. Some teachers are not like that, and it looks so much better if you just come on time. And it's a lot less stressful. For me, I don't like walking in late. I don't like the attention I get doing that. So it's just, I get a lot less anxious and stressed when I just know where my class is because I went early and checked. Also, bring paper and a pencil at least to every class until you know for sure what you need. Those, you should always have at least those two things, because it looks bad if you're not prepared, not only with not knowing where you're going, but supplies wise as well. I believe those are all my tips. Also, bring water. I mean, I bring water to every class every day because I'd much rather have water and not drink it than sit there and be thirsty and not be able to pay attention or not, whatever. It's not the greatest tip, but I think that you should bring water if you can. Anyways, other than that, those are all my tips. Like I said, I'll link to the articles in the description if you want to go look at those. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope the rest of your week goes great, and I'll see you guys on Friday.